Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do a review on my Cricut Bright Pad, which I love. It is amazing, and I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why I find it so amazing. I didn't even know that Cricut was coming out with this. I just happened to be in Michael's and saw it as I was just kind of shopping, and I kind of looked at it. It was on sale for $60. It normally goes for $80, and they had a sale where they were $60. I picked this up right before Christmas. So most of the reviews I saw were basically for for weeding, for vinyl. I do have a Cricut. I don't use it for vinyl too much. So I got it mostly for tracing, but it has so many other uses other than the weeding and for the tracing. It's awesome, and I'll show you some of the things that I use it for. So when you open it up, here it is, and it's very lightweight. The box is kind of like here. I'll take everything. So you get the Bright Pad. You just have like this instruction booklet, and then it's very simple, is that it comes with just a block, like a power block, and you have like a USB cord. And that's one of the great things about this, is that you can plug this into anything that has a USB. If you have it just goes, you plug this end into here, and then you have this kind of like micro thing that goes into your, okay, so you just plug it into the top right here. So you can either plug it into an outlet, or you can plug it into, like, if you have a laptop. I have an iPad Pro, so I can't use it into my iPad Pro, but I do have, I have kids, and we do have a lot of these. So you can just plug it into a battery pack, and it will work if you just have it into a battery pack. And what's great about that is that you can take this with you. That's what makes this amazing, that you can just take this, throw this in your purse, and then you can take this out and you could use this, like you could be on the train, you could be like in a waiting room, you could be like anywhere, and you could be using this as a work surface, if you're a student or at school, and you can take this to the library or to class or whatever you need to. It's travelable. Like if you're going over somebody's house, or you're not near an outlet, you can just have this going at all times, and it's just easily powered up. Okay, so it comes with this little booklet, and it just, it's very quick of the things that you can do with it. The buttons, how you can use it for tracing or paper piercing, jewelry making, working with vinyl, and so on. And it has different light settings. So let me go down. This is the lowest light setting. You have 3 settings, I believe. And it works great. So for tracing, the thing about this is it's super lightweight. Like, it looks like an iPad, but this is way lighter than my iPad. And the thing that I like about it, that it is so thin, is that I can actually, if I needed to trace something, I can trace like a book page. I can literally get this under, let's see, I don't know if it's the same size, but I can get this all the way under a book page. And other tracing tables, light tables, they are thick. They are usually, like this thick. So you really can't get under a book page. But look at this. I can get all the way under a book page, and I can actually go through and trace. And let me just show you like some paper. So it goes through a lot of different papers. Okay, so this is going through Bristolboard, and you can see that this goes through. Let me probably turn off some of these lights so you can actually see better, like the different papers that it can go through, so you can see like how it goes. So that's through Bristol paper, and you can see it's at the highest setting, and I could trace right in, and I don't have to take the page out of my book. So that's, to me, is great, because if I don't want it to be taking pages out, but I want to just copy something that I see in a book, I can do that. The only thing that gets complicated is if you have a double-sided, then you're going to see the image on the front and the back. I mean, you could try to lower that, but you're going to see both. So it really works best with things that have one side. Okay, so now I have Canson 140-pound watercolor paper, and again, I can see this pretty much through all the settings. So if you don't want it that bright, you can put it up. And this light does not bother my eyes looking at it at all. I can look at this. It does not bother my eyes. So yeah, I like it, the fact that I can do book pages, that I don't have to take the stuff out of the book. Let me just, for instance, here's another paper. I have a lot of fairy things around. Let me look even like at my... Okay, so this is like my Dina Wakley mixed media journal. Let me get a piece of like her watercolor paper is kind of thick. So again, I can definitely, I don't have to take the page out. I mean, I can use this book. It's in my book. I can trace right into my book if I want to. I don't have to worry about, you know, I probably would have to cut this and crop this so it gets closer, but I don't have to take pages up because it's so thin it fits between my book pages. So that is a thing that I love about it. The other thing I like about it is that I can use it for other kinds of crafting. So like for instance, literally, I was shopping. My dog is on a diet, so I had to look for calories, and I was looking at the can. I could not read the calories because my eyes were getting bad. And sure, like a magnifying glass would work, but sometimes just a bright light works. I use my phone a lot of times. I'm like looking at things and I use my phone up. But I mean, it definitely makes it easier to read. I could not read this without this Bright Pad. If I put it on the Bright Pad, I can read it. I still might use like a magnifying glass, you know, certain things, but for this is teeny tiny writing. I don't know if you can see like how teeny that is, but it's really small. So for things like that, you can just pop it on to help you read better. This is a scarf that I'm making, you know, like just quicking. I mean, it's a bigger font, but I mean, if you need to read through paperwork or something that's small, it's definitely helpful to use it on that kind of stuff. I like it for that. Now this is 65-pound cardstock. So say for instance, I want to layer, I don't know why I would want to, but say for instance, I want to layer different scenes. So I have like this picture right here. I'm gonna zoom in for you to see it better. Okay, so here is per se this bunny. But I don't necessarily, I want to put this bunny into a different scene. So maybe I want to put this bunny, and I want the bunny to go like something in this scene. So I layer it over and I want the bunny, you know, like here, but I want the sunset. I can still see that bunny through, now I am through another 65-pound piece of cardstock. Okay, so say I want to add some birds in here, but I want the bunny in with the birds. Okay, can I still see the bunny? I can still see the bunny. I don't know if you can see it. I can still see it. Now it's getting a little fainter. I wouldn't put another piece of cardstock, but this is like two 65-pound pieces of cardstock. And I'm sure if I had like some thinner paper, let's try it with like regular paper. If I had some thinner paper, I bet I could still see that through. And here's a couple pieces of, so I can still see that through pretty decent with like regular. This is like 3 pages. This is 3 pages of like typing paper, so you can still see it through. So it's great if you want to trace, but you want to combine different things from different images and you want to layer them all at once instead of doing it separately. So that's great. Also, you know, you can just, like I said, I'm crocheting something. I can just have this on here. It definitely makes it easier to read than if I was in like, say I wasn't in a well-lit area and I couldn't read that well. You just pop this on here and you can definitely see what you're doing. Okay, so let me show you. Last night I was working on doing this kind of beading onto this fabric and stuff with sewing, and I had to do. So threading the needle. So for threading my needles, I had to like go in the other room. I had to, because I didn't take this out. So, you know, normally I would go into the room and I would use my aunt lamp to try to thread something. But with this, I mean, right here, I can see this hole perfectly clear, where I couldn't see that like in the lighting I was working on. I was kind of working at my kitchen table and I could not see, and I had to like go in another room. And I should have just grabbed this out. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. So I like was going into the other room and then I just didn't think of it. But then I thought of it today when I was doing this video. I'm like, God, I should have just brought the Bright Pad. And then, you know, you can just put this on over the hole and it makes it like so easy. I mean, I could thread this so easily. Whereas like if you don't have good lighting, I mean, it's just like a great work table. And the thing about this is people like in the video, they say how durable it is. Like you can't scratch it because with the weeding tool, you're actually picking at it. So it's made not to scratch. It won't, supposedly, that's what they say. Don't quote me. If you scratch yours up, I don't want to hear about if you scratch it up. Now I've had this on for a while. It's not even warm. It's actually cold because it's cold down here, but it's not even really warm to the touch. I mean, and I've had this on now for a while. So yeah, I can thread my needles. I can work on my projects. I can see. I mean, this is amazing. I love this for everything. Now I also do like jewelry stuff. Like, so normally if I'm working on jewelry, you know, I get one of these pads out. Actually, I have like a one that opens up, like a bigger one. But you can't always see when you're beading, right? I'm 49. My eyes are not, you know, my eyes are getting bad. It's harder for me to see. And I don't wear glasses. I've never worn glasses, and I technically don't need glasses. Like when I go to the eye doctor, maybe this year I'll need them. I have an eye exam coming up soon. And when I use like those cheater type glasses, they kind of give me a headache and they bother me because I'm not used to wearing any type of glasses. But with this, okay, let me show you. This is amazing. So like these beads, I don't know why, and some of them do, but for the most part, okay, they don't move too much. They kind of like almost stick on here. Like I'm moving this around and these beads, I mean, they're moving. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're moving, but for the most part, they're not moving too much for as much as I'm moving this. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And I don't know if there's like a static electricity on here that keeps them from moving. But I mean, you can bead on here. You can do like fine work and you can see these holes. Like it's amazing. Like this is an amazing tool. Like I don't need to use this thing because my beads are not like, yeah, I'm not going to throw this around like while I'm working on it, but like they stay put. They're almost kind of like stuck to this thing. They're not stuck, they'll move, but you know what I mean? Like I can sit here and do my jewelry making and whatnot because this is awesome. Better than this thing where I have to like kind of where they're in here and I have to pick them up. They're not sliding on this table. So this is great for beading, like when I'm doing this and I can see through the patterns and the fabric and it lights up, and I mean, this thing is awesome. I can't get over it now. And I don't work for Cricut and I paid for this, you know, like I don't get nothing for saying, but I love this Bright Pad. I have to say, I really love this Bright Pad. And I love the fact that, like I say, look at this. I'm literally tilting this up and these beads really aren't moving too much. I mean, they're not flying all over the place. It's not like if you were on the table, like, you know, like here, like I dropped the beads on here. Watch. I'm dropping them. They're staying. They're not like bouncing all over like a table where they would be all over the place. They, you know, they kind of bounce once and then they stay. So again, I love this thing, and I can take this out with me because it's so light. I can put this in my bag, throw it in my bag, and take this out. I don't know. I just can't get over how great this is a tool. It's definitely well worth the money. I've seen other ones. I was just in like AC Moore, and they had the big thick one. It was like $130. I know you can get light pads on for like 25 bucks, but literally I know sometimes like Joann's and even Michael, sometimes they'll have 30% off of Cricut accessories because normally you can't use a coupon for Cricut stuff in any of the craft stores, but sometimes they do have sales. Like I got this one for $20 off, and I know even Joann sometimes will have up to 40% off. And imagine you can get this thing for under, you know, 40% off at $80. That's like what, $32 off. That's pretty amazing. And even for the $80, I think it's worth it. It is so well made. You can't scratch it. I'm not going to throw it on the floor like other people do, watch their videos. I mean, I'm not going to trust like slamming it onto the ground. But anyways, I love it. Cricut Bright Pad. Definitely. I can't recommend enough. Like, if this is something that you think you would use, I mean, I craft a lot of different crafts. So for my paperwork and, you know, like just everyday life, jewelry, beading, my sewing work, I find that this is definitely a good deal to have. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.